like to welcome you to the Boldcastify Football Show, episode 22. Clay?
This is Jay.
This is Justin.
This is going to be a little wrap-up of everything. We're rolling back in the Circle Up Prowl for the rest of the season. And this is the Jaguars segment of the Boldcastify Football Show, talking to Josh McDaniels. He must have been interested in this job.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Sounds like we were a legitimately hot option, and we ended up with Tuck Road.
Which we'll touch on that now.
You feel okay with it?
I am. Tom, he gets the old attaboy because of Tom. But this is my only gripe on this whole coaching staff is they put it all on Gus. Now, it sure as hell could be all on Gus. Because
the Giants.
This is very true. It's very true because they kept the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and
Worked okay for the Bucks, I guess.
Kind of.
But that's about how it works.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much did. They kept pretty much everyone intact in Tampa for the most part. Changed out some of the offensive stuff, but yeah.
What are they 3 games better? 2 games better? They weren't that bad last year.
No, they really
under Lovey. So I mean, like, I don't know.
I know they were like 1 or 2 games out of the playoffs. They were in the hunt.
Yeah,
I definitely remember that.
they kind of faded in the season. But I mean, their defense is
11th
definitely
or
better.
12th week, they were still in the hunt, so that's a definite positive. I look at the whole picture, and I keep seeing Tom's face, and Tom's face over here versus all these other faces.
Real stern face.
Yeah, it makes me happy because he's not smiling.
Nope.
Everyone else is smiling.
See, doesn't that make you feel better?
I don't want him smiling.
Now that you like him, now that he's here?
Strictly business.
It's strictly business.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it.
That's what I like about the faces when they did those promos here.
Why the hell else
ago.
would we be here?
To get the best lunch.
Yeah. That's what we're all about. Get the best
Here
lunch.
to win lunch.
You're not here to get better?
Not here to sweep any more damn corners, finally.
Done with that.
Oh, man.
Not here to be part of a game. I'm here to fucking win the game.
Somebody said that besides Tom Coughlin, it feels like rearranging the
Dominoes, right?
deck chairs
Okay.
on the Titanic. Do y'all feel that way at all?
No.
Yes, a little bit. I wouldn't go that drastic on
No.
it. I would say that it's a real 2-year run. A legitimate 2-year run. As if ever a 2-year run could be 2 years, this is the end. You win in 2 years, you don't. This whole thing is blown up.
I don't want to say you just rearranged the deck chairs. I would have said that if you would have kept essentially everybody in the whole staff, but you didn't.
You kept 2 most important coordinators, in my opinion.
Okay, let me interrupt. How long was Hackett coordinating?
9 games, I guess.
And he wasn't even using his playbook.
And if you look at the plays he was running, it's not a Hackett offense he was running. I get that. Honestly, it seems backwards. I feel better about Hackett being the OC than I do about Wash being the D coordinator.
And that's what I was going to go on to. I think we went from like 28th to like 10th in like the last 4 games of the season. I
think it was real obvious to all of us that they could run the ball a lot better once Hackett took over.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot better balance.
The defense did get better. I mean, you guys follow Jaguars Twitter. They post, follow Tad Dickman, Jaguars PR guy. They post a lot of great stuff.
And they ended up really impressive in some statistical categories this past year.
Yes.
But the
way I
yards.
look at it is we're going to get new schemes for both of them. Even though they're familiar faces, I feel like the continuity that Hackett has is the only positive continuity because he was the quarterback's coach. He thinks that Blake Bortles can be good. He sees the positives.
Yeah.
Which means he can actually try to like form an offense around Bortles. He's the guy that spent the most time around Bortles.
Another thing is that was pointed out because I listen to a lot of 1010 sports talk radio for some known reason, but I do it because I hate myself.
That's a quality plug for 1010 if I've ever heard it.
One of the girls pointed out, I can't think of her name right now, I think it's on the Late Show, that I guess Hackett actually came over to Blake on the sidelines whenever he'd come off and they'd actually run over the plays. So that was a definite switch from the Olsen. Like, I never saw Olsen come over.
They needed to go between to talk to each other.
It was usually...
You definitely see the chemistry was...
It was usually like Chad Henne going over to talk to Blake, which, I mean, we all know what Chad Henne is.
Well, it's not even that. There was definitely a chemistry issue between him and Ole.
Yeah, it's more about the fact that they had to have a go-between for communication.
Your coordinator should be almost like a best friend.
Yeah, and that's why I assumed Chad Henne was the go-between.
And you did not see that on the sideline.
And I wasn't honestly paying attention to that. I was honestly paying attention to the defense whenever Blake was going off the field, unless he threw his helmet or something.
Honestly, even though the defense looked better than the offense, I know they're going to change the defense, and I know they're going to change the offense. And I can go look at what Nate Hackett did, and I can see for sure, I know he has a plan, and it's actually had success elsewhere. It had success with Kyle Orton and EJ Manuel.
That says a lot.
Supposedly, one of the reasons it came out, that's the reason why he was retained, because I guess he worked with Doug Marrone in Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, he's worked with him, the past 7 years or so?
I think when
Buffalo and
the continuity
Chiefs.
talk happens, they're not talking about continuity of the Gus Bradley regime. They're talking about giving Blake some semblance of continuity, because it's all about Blake Bortles. If this team had a slightly better Blake Bortles this year, they're in the hunt.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And so, whenever they say anything, I mean, it's pretty much about Blake. And so, Blake Bortles, rookie year, his coordinator is...
Jed Fish.
Jed Fish.
Yes.
2014, who's his coordinator?
Ole.
2015, who's his coordinator?
Ole for half.
Only for half. No.
15? It was Ole.
So 14 Fish, 15
No.
Ole.
No, 14, 15 were Jed Fish then.
Yeah.
Then Ole for like a year and a half.
No, Jed Fish got fired
2 years.
Midway
after
apart.
14.
Yeah.
Ole brought in on 15, fired halfway through 16. Point is, Bortles has never had that continuity. So that puts a quarterback in a place to fail, I think.
Okay,
Well, look at Ben. Just an example. Look at Ben. He's had, 2-3 coordinators? Bruce Arians and Todd Haley.
Yeah.
Then there may be one in between, but for the most part, in his whole career.
okay, we can also argue this point too. There's always the good coordinators that get picked up and promoted to head coaches. I mean, so
Yeah, but these guys weren't
Is that what
getting, these
happened
guys
in
weren't getting
Jacksonville?
promoted. Jeff Fish is going to be the quarterback's coach at UCLA.
After
and
getting fired again.
probably
And Olsen is,
going to the Rams as a quarterback coach.
after getting fired for I don't know how many times in his career. Lots of times. So these aren't guys that are constantly getting upgraded
No.
to new jobs. These are guys that are fired.
Well, I mean, he's a quarterback coach. I mean, so that's a motion from his last job.
Yeah. So,
but he was supposedly the quarterback whisperer, right?
He's got a track record of being a one-year wonder with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Ole.
Yeah, it should probably be a one-job hit with him, and then he should move on to his next job.
Honestly,
just
he
make
should sign
one-year
one-year
contracts.
Yeah, that'd be a way to do it.
So that kind of continuity could actually be good for Blake because Nate Hackett spent that time under Olsen as the quarterback's coach and then became the OC. So he's not only spent a lot of time with Blake, he's actually had time to consider what he would do as the OC. And now he can do that with an off season. That makes me feel a little hopeful with the offense.
I
If
agree.
Blake clicks, then the rest clicks, I think.
Right, that all comes a lot, and I'm liking a lot of the coaching pieces they're bringing in.
Yeah,
I'm liking Tyrone Wheatley for running backs coach.
Harry Fuel.
Harry Fuel, that is one of my favorites.
Got a guy with head coaching experience, defensive coordinator experience.
Yep.
Like good defensive coordinator experience. And he's your DB's guy?
Yep.
Yeah, Jalen's gonna like him.
Who is assistant head coach now?
TC, but really, I have no idea.
Assistant head coach?
We have an assistant head coach.
I thought there was one.
We got a special teams guy. We got
Yeah,
Joe
which
D
I do.
back.
I do like Joe D being back. That is fine.
Yes.
I do like Joe D coming back.
Is it weird that they were hiring offensive assistants before they announced the offensive coordinator?
That was kind of interesting, to be honest.
I think a lot of that had to do with what I think Doug Marrone already had his guy, obviously Hackett.
Yeah.
And I think when he got the job, he went to Tom. Tom said, "You got to interview a couple more people for the job, then you can circle around the wagons."
How serious do you think they actually consider Chip? I mean, how much does Chip hate Jacksonville now, by the way?
I don't care because I don't really like him.
Bill Belichick likes him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bill likes him. I know Tom likes him.
Well, next year,
That's why I got brought in.
No, I'll try him next year.
McDaniels gets promoted to Tennessee head coach. I guess he can be Tom's coordinator up there in Patriotville. So I don't give a flying flip about this Joker. He's a gimmicky son of a bitch, if you ask me.
So Brady's going to be coaching Patriots. All right, I like it.
I think that Chip Kelly could be interesting if he had some reins put on him.
If he has the reins on him.
Well, he had some reins out in San Fran. He doesn't have anything to go with the reins.
No, I mean, a head coach. A head coach has a lot of power still over what you run, compared to like if he's just the OC. Think about every offensive coordinator under Jack Del Rio. And you have a lot of good offensive coordinators there. Some really good ones, some okay ones. But guess what? They all looked about the same underneath Jack Del Rio.
Do you think they were put some reins on to hold him back a little bit?
Jack Del Rio wanted a specific thing from his offenses. It was pretty obvious.
Very, very clear.
You had Dirk Cutter, who was widely considered around the league like a great offensive mind, handed the ball off like 75% of the time.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely run, pass. 5 yards in a cloud of dust kind of guy. But Jack did say if he ever had a 5-to-1 passer, he'd throw it a hell of a lot more. Which you can see the evidence of that in Oakland this year. But he still hamstrung Dirk when he was here.
Yeah, and you look at the kind of offenses Dirk Cutter's run since. Not quite what he ran in Jacksonville.
No, not at all. I definitely did like the Pat Flaherty. That right there made you kind of think we were going to go out and get Chip. Because he was Chip's offensive line guy.
There's some aspects of the Chip Kelly thing that we really need. Like his teams are always good at running the ball.
Yeah. They were actually really good at running the ball.
And people are freaking out about how fast his teams are. The fastest offense by far in the NFL last year was San Francisco. The second fastest offense in the NFL, Jacksonville.
Yep.
The oddest part,
what are you scared of?
Only separated by 4 seconds.
They were actually faster when they were leading, which is really weird.
that's the odd part. That's to me was like, you'd think you want to slow it down a little bit. But if you're not used to it, so be it.
You want to pile it on, so.
That's why we have those blowout wins.
Yep. Like in London, where we piled it on, and then let it run and come back.
I do like the Marion Hobby pickup. A lot of experience. That was a good get. He was a former Clemson defensive line coach and co-defensive coordinator that we brought in. He was with Tennessee the year they won the title over Florida State.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. And I think with New Orleans when they won the Super Bowl. So he's got pro coaching experience. He's been around. He's not a young fellow. That's the key thing you're seeing with this stuff compared to Gus's stuff. A lot more experience.
Yeah, like I said, Perry Fuels, he's a positions coach. He could easily be our D coordinator.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Which, that's probably the reason he's back there. So he can basically, hey, Todd, Todd, you're going to do this. Hey, no, let's do this. Advise him.
He's definitely got pieces to work with at the corner position. I'm not sure what he's got to work with at the safety position.
That's to be decided.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
We're getting mocked to free safeties and strong safeties.
A lot of Jonathan Allen love.
With our first pick?
And supposedly he's not even a side-to-side safety. Although, this is Todd McShay, I think, draft analyst. He said he's not a side-to-side safety, but he can cover little miniature wide receivers. So that's a plus.
Little miniature receivers.
Yeah, so watch out, Darren Sproles.
Yeah. We're going to get you. He's out there.
Glorious write-up about this guy.
Well, the last time we drafted a sideline-to-sideline safety, it was Reggie Nelson. And he was garbage for us.
He's had a resurgence the last couple 4 or 5 years, though.
He was great the second he left Jacksonville.
Yeah. As long as he dropped 2 on black, he kind of turned back up.
I guess blame Del Rio, I guess.
Look at his defense in Oakland. I like it. Let's do it. Blame him. Well, guys, that's the Jaguars segment. Thanks for following us. This has been the Boldcastify Football Show, Jag segment. We're going to wrap it up and come back with the picks and NFC, AFC Championship talk. See y'all after a while. This has been Boldcastify. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. whatever other social media site you can think of, and check out our SoundCloud.
As far as Tim
Be
goes,
bold.
he is a member of the New York Jets, so I can't imagine a scenario where he would be a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Say that again?
I can't imagine a scenario where he'd be a Jacksonville Jaguar, even if he's released.